What's popping, guys? Yeah, it's been a minute since we've done one of these because it's the off season and that's how things work. Also, if you hear background noise, what's up, background noise?
What's up, background noise?
Yeah. Last night happened. Let's talk about it. Najee Harris, welcome to Pittsburgh. All right. I'll be honest with you guys. I was not thrilled. here's my genuine reaction. No. That was my reaction. Now, let me explain why. My reaction was that because, there were still like great people available for the offensive line, or like JOK was still available, Tevin was available. Yeah, so there were definitely picks that I would have preferred. But not to say, let me clarify. I think Najee Harris has potential. Obviously, he can't win Rookie of the Year because Trevor Lawrence is going to be godly next year. But I think he has potential to be like a breakout candidate for this year. But he can only do that if we get offensive line. And what do we have right now? Like 2 offensive linemen. That's it. Hey, in case you missed it, we talked about this on the podcast. We had Nick Farabon, who's a Steelers beat reporter. Yeah, it was a great time. Go check that out. So here's the deal. I do like Najee Harris. I just didn't like him because I also don't like first-round running backs because I think that they're just overhyped a little bit. But I will love the Najee Harris situation if we can get, like, there's no way we get Tevin in our second-round pick. There's just genuinely no way that happens. But if we can get, like, Creed Humphrey, I will be happy. If we get a good old lineman in our next pick, then we're fine. And then in our third-round pick, we also pick an old lineman, then we're good. But if we do not use, if we get another wide receiver, which we don't even need, but Pittsburgh drafts a wide receiver every single year, if we draft a wide receiver with our second or third round pick, or we go safety, the only way we passed on Greg Newsome. So, again, there were other options there at 24. We took Najee Harris. I do think Najee Harris can have great success. I think he honestly can have a really long tenured career in Pittsburgh. Probably not, though, let's be real. Once the rookie contract expires, Pittsburgh does not pay the running backs because there's no point because you can just draft another running back 4 years from now. It's just how it works. But overall, like grade-wise, I'd probably give Pittsburgh like a C- just because there were better options out there. I'm not saying I don't like Najee Harris. I think Najee Harris can be like, Zach calls him a poor man's Derrick Henry. I think that's a pretty good comparison. I'm not going to give you guys my ceiling and my floor because we're going to do that on the podcast next week, so make sure you guys tune in for that. I'm going to do floor and ceilings for a lot of the top prospects in this year's draft, now that we know where they are. Mainly just because I don't like to give floors and ceilings for players before we know where they wind up, because situation is all going to lead into why a player has the career that they do. But talking about going back to Najee Harris, like, I think Najee Harris can be, like, he could probably be an all-pro because we've seen it happen in recent memory with Pittsburgh. Le'Veon Bell. James Conner wasn't technically an all-pro, but he was a pro bowler in that one season. And obviously, he kind of fell off a little bit. I blame Randy. Hey, Randy. Hope you're enjoying retirement, my guy, because we're enjoying your retirement as much as you are. I think Najee can definitely have some success in Pittsburgh. It's just like, you can't, you know that meme? I don't edit these I don't edit these videos usually, but I've already put in one edit, so we're going to put the edit right here. Yes, that meme, the flex tape meme, yeah. I literally said that to my group chat last night, because that's basically what Pittsburgh's doing with this whole Najee pick. Like, our issue right now is Ben is probably not good. If we don't go on O-line, then our issue is Ben's going to be under pressure, which means he's either going to have to make really bad decisions, or it's just going to be dink and dunks again, which I cannot do. I cannot emphasize enough. I cannot do another season of dink and dunks. Dylan, can I do another season of dink and dunks?
I don't think you can.
Yeah, I don't think I can. Dylan, you know anything about the football? About the football? Do you know anything about the NFL?
A little bit. I like the Steelers.
Yeah. Do you know who Najee Harris is?
Yes.
Who?
I just know the name.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, nice. Probably because I talked about him earlier. And Dylan doesn't know anything, but he does know that I don't like dink and dunks.
No, you do not.
I hate dink and dunks. I'd rather have Dunkin' Donuts. And I don't eat donuts.
I'm going to go get some Dunkin' Donuts.
All right, bye. I don't need that in my life. Now, if Pittsburgh can get, like, Creed Humphrey, or, like, if Tevin Jenkins falls, actually, I really don't want that to be the case because that's a really hard decision between him and Creed Humphrey. But if we can get Creed Humphrey in our second round pick, I'm a happy man. And honestly, that's basically just like taking Creed Humphrey in the first round, which I know is technically a reach because his projected draft position was like 63rd, I believe. And Pittsburgh's picking at 55. But that's basically like taking Najee in the second round, which I'm happy with. I would much prefer that than Because then I could be like, oh, he's basically a second round running back. My dream scenario, if you guys didn't watch the podcast, was like essentially Tevin Jenkins in the first round, and then Creed Humphrey in the second, and then whatever in the third, fourth round. I thought we should go safety with John Johnson or what's his name, Johnson, the safety, and then the tight end out of Notre Dame. But like if somehow we walk out of this with 2 linemen and Najee Harris, and then we also do get like a safety or a cornerback in the later rounds, I'm happy with that. That's perfectly fine. Obviously, this is going to go up after the first round has gone out, obviously, because we're talking about Najee Harris. But it's going up before the second round. So if Pittsburgh ends up drafting wide receiver, just drop a like on this, please. Just we'll drop a like on it anyway. But drop an extra like. Have your friends drop a like on this just for my mental health. Yeah, honestly, I think Najee Harris I'm really excited to have Najee Harris as a Steeler. I want to kind of buy a jersey of his. I think sleeping on it was really, really good for me because in the moment, you saw the video. I was not thrilled. But sleeping on it, I'm like, you know what? As long as Pittsburgh can get O-linemen with their next couple of picks, then we're fine. And honestly, I think we could be one of the winners of the draft. Genuinely. That's a genuine thing I think Pittsburgh can do. I think the Jets are a big winner from last night. Because not only did they get Zach Wilson, but they got him protection as well by trading up and taking a Vera Tucker. I think the Chargers are easily one of the biggest winners of the night as well. Hi, JP. Yeah, you guys are winners. We talked about this already. Because they got Slater at 13. Yeah. Somehow. Don't know how that happened, but congratulations. I think that there's situations like that. I think Pittsburgh can be considered a winner of the draft because we're beefing up our O-line, especially Creed Humphrey. Bless you. Someone who is he's a first-round talent. God damn, what the shit? You good? All right. He's essentially a first-round talent, but there were just questions about him. If people are going to start talking about the Alabama center, whose name I can't remember, I think he's interesting, but his injury history really bothers me. Not bothers me, but concerns me because essentially I don't need another injury-prone offensive lineman, considering especially last season alone, DeCastro was out for half the season, and then we just had our fair share of injuries on the O-line. We obviously didn't have Zach Banner all of last season, and so I really don't need another stressful 5-6 years of, oh god, is our O-line going to be healthy or not? Other thoughts about Pittsburgh for this draft? Yeah, GG us ever winning the AFC North ever again in the next 10 years because I wanted Greg Newsome. Who got Greg Newsome? Oh, Cleveland, 2 picks after us. And then the Ravens also had a really, really good draft. Honestly, if the Browns don't win this division or win a minimum of 13 games, then they are underachieving mightily. But Cincinnati, I don't know what you guys are doing. Sorry, Parker, but you guys, Jamar Chase is definitely a great talent, and he has a super high ceiling. But Penei Sewell was there, and you can't throw to someone like Chase if you don't have someone like Penei. So I do think Pittsburgh will probably finish 3rd in the division this year. But I'm curious what the over-unders are going to be going into this next season after the draft finishes completely. Because, right now, if I had to guess, Pittsburgh's over-under, so we have a new game, so there's 17 games now. So if I had to guess, their over-under is probably 9.5. And I would probably take the under, honestly. I think Pittsburgh could maybe win 9 games. Maybe, go 9-17 games. So it's 9-8. So that's so weird to think about. Yeah, it sucks. I would love us to be a contender. I also kind of going back to the draft. I would have loved it if we took JOK because that just fills in for Bud Dupree, who we lost in free agency, and I think JOK is better initially than Dupree was. Dupree took a couple years to develop, so that sucks. But you know what? Honestly, obviously our run game was an issue last season, so hopefully Najee can be the fix to that. It's just first round running back scare me, man. At least it was essentially later in the draft, so it kind of is an initial second round, like one of the first picks of the second round. But yeah, no, it's scary. I will say it is hard in the second half of the first round. Once you get to the 15th to 16th pick in the first round, that's when it's just essentially mock drafts don't really matter. It's essentially just who teams like. And if Pittsburgh likes Najee, I'm not going to question him too much. Pittsburgh has a good draft history, especially Colbert, who's been a GM since 2002, and he really hasn't missed on too many. I mean, the biggest busts I can think about under Colbert are Artie Burns. That's literally the biggest one I can think about. Tremaine Edmonds, Jesus, I wish. Just Edmonds, our safety. I genuinely I think this year can be kind of like Nick talked about this on the podcast this week. I think he can be kind of Dupree-esque where he breaks out this season, but like if he doesn't, he could be maybe considered possibly a bust. He has gotten better every year though. But no, I'm gonna trust Pittsburgh with this. I think sleeping on it was one of the most important things. So Najee, man, if you run for 1,000 yards this season, I'm a happy man. That's all I need. All I need is 1,000 yards from you. That's it. Just help our team out a little bit. And honestly, it's not even on you personally. That's just on our offensive line and how Matt Canada draws up the schematics. I do think Matt Canada being our OC is awesome too because he's coming from a collegiate system when he was the head coach over at Maryland and when he was the OC at LSU. LSU or Clemson? I think it was LSU. And so now, you have Najee Harris coming straight out of a collegiate system in Alabama. And I think that those two can work really well together. I think it also just comes down to like how Ben can adapt to it. But, it just sucks because I don't think Pittsburgh can win this division. And it's going to be really hard Pittsburgh to get to the playoffs, nonetheless win the Super Bowl. And I would just like Ben to go out on top in like a really good way. And I think, your last playoff game being against the Browns and being blown out essentially just in your first quarter alone isn't really the best taste in your mouth to leave when you retire. So if we can maybe just get a playoff win this season, I'd be happy. That's my expectations for this season at this point. Are like just playoff win. That's all I need. Just get out of the first round of the playoffs, and I'll be a happy man. I don't even need us to start 11 or no. Let's start 12 and that's literally not gonna happen. Hopefully things have changed. Our defenses did take a step back, obviously, but yeah, man, our offense is exactly the same except we replaced James Conner for Najee Harris. So, yeah. Those are my thoughts on the draft, you guys. I'm wearing a tank top. Why? Because I worked out this morning, and I have another workout in... We're going, 20 minutes?
Yep.
Yeah, 20 minutes. So, that's why I look like the biggest douchebag in the world. Speaking of, what I'm wearing, Try Again Podcast. You guys should go check it out. It's a great time. We're almost at episode 30, which is nuts. We've had a bunch of fun guests on, and it's been a really good time to record that, honestly. I can't believe I've been doing it for 30 weeks now because we're doing one once a week. I did take a 6-week hiatus, or a 3-week hiatus because I had to adjust my my new school schedule with the second semester. So it's basically been 33 weeks at this point, which is still crazy to think about. But I'm enjoying it. It's a great time. And it seems like it's one of my most positively interacted series I've ever done on the channel. The views aren't really there, but the interaction is there, and the retention rate is there too, which is really impressive to me. For a 45-minute video, I usually expect people to kind of click off after 30 seconds because that's what people usually do for the Madden videos. I think the retention there was a minute 30. No, on the podcast it's like 10 to 20 minutes is the average view time. So yeah, make sure you guys go check that out, and we upload those every Thursday at 12:30. I'm going to try to make some moves this summer. We'll see what happens. It all depends on how my schedule is this summer. But, yeah, man, I'm done with classes in 5 days. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. 3 days. I'm done with classes in 3 days. So we'll see what happens. Anyways, we all know how these end. It's the dumbest ending in the world. But,